Hello YouTube, this is Charlie426, and today we have a review of the SHF figure arts, the SHF Kamen Rider Mach. Now I know in the English it's supposed to be, the correct pronunciation is supposed to be like Mach or something, but in the series, the Japanese series, or the Korean pronunciation or Japanese pronunciation, they go with Maha, so I'm going to go with the same thing as Maha as well. First of all, yes, it's a Friday, but I decided to make a review because next week is my midterm, so I want to get things a little bit, finished quickly. Um, Now basically, this one I bought as a secondhand product, but it turned out very nice. Granted, there are some tricky parts that kind of annoyed me, but I've pretty much fixed all those issues. Okay, so now let's get on to the review. Now, first of all, this rider is from Kamen Rider Drive, and Kamen Rider Drive, their motifs or their concept is based on vehicles, which was kind of interesting because Kamen Rider, they were originally known for their bug theme, and then the fact that they were using like vehicles, like motorcycles, as a transportation. But the interesting concept for this is that this one's based on a motorcycle. So it was a very new and fresh concept at the time, I believe. Alright, so as usual, we're going to go with the components, and just for the record, I did already put the weapon, the Zenrin shooter, on the hand, just to save time, because you know that it's not easy to jam in those hands into the weapon. So let's see what we got. So first of all, what you get, of course, is the Kamen Rider Mach himself, the Zenrin shooter, and a right trigger hand. And for the left hand, you also have a standard fist hand. And also, we get a nice scarf or cape kind of thing for the left shoulder area-ish. I'm going to push this a little bit to the back and see what we got. Now, equipment-wise, there's not much as you think. So, yeah, hopefully this works out pretty well. So, first of all, here we have, I believe this one is the standard normal fist. Yep, for the other hand. So, yeah, that's the fist for the right hand. And here we have another trigger hand for the left hand. So, just in case if you want to put the Zenrin shooter on the left hand, you can do that. Because in terms of gunpla, that's something that they don't actually provide too often. So these figures, they always like, I'm always surprised to see like a left trigger hand. We have fully open hands for mostly poses, and then we get some semi-open hands for also mostly pose purposes, and then we get these, a thumbs up hand, which I assume are also meant for poses. Then here we have another scarf effect. This is mostly, well, I'm not really sure how this ball joint is supposed to connect because it's kind of tricky. But this one is meant for that if you're trying to do with a like aerodynamic pose or something, this is what you use. I'll show you how it's supposed to connect, but hopefully I can show that more properly. And here we have one of the main gimmicks of the rider. We have their signal koukan. This is the Magaru, and then we also get the one for the single bike. And the single bike is actually made in clear green plastic with the turn symbol right over there, and I absolutely love that aspect. And yes, you can actually put this inside the belt or on the Zenrin shooter, which I will demonstrate later. Alright, so let's get on to the review. Now, in Kamen Rider Drive, personally, I really did enjoy the series, and turns out I even loved it more than I thought, so I bought a ton of Kamen Rider Drive related riders. So this one being the first one, and there's like 4 more to go, and I'm still thinking of getting one more or not. So, and yes, I am aware of the Kamen Rider Brain spinoff. Okay, so let's start with the head. Now, despite I do like Kamen Rider Maha, there are some aspects that I don't like regarding the figure. Number one, I'm just gonna say this right off the bat. Depending on like which angle you see, you can see like the neck joint, and then you can see the bottom of the neck joint. So that is one part that I am not a big fan of regarding this figure. The other thing is this part, but I'll get into that later. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Okay, so for the head articulation is pretty good. You can go down that much, up that much. Oops. And then yes, you can actually move up the visor to make it look like it's taking out the steam like from its head. So yeah, I actually like they actually decide to do this. Of course, I'm not sure if this is supposed to be like very loose when it's up, but when it's closed up, it's actually pretty fine. So yeah, I'm not really too sure about that. And the 360 twist is possible, but just in case, yes, these guys are humans inside. So like yeah. Okay, here's where the scarf part connects. They actually connect with a ball joint. This one's actually going down, so it's actually really easy to connect. and doesn't really fall off that easily. But the other one, the way how the ball joint angle is kind of tricky, so it's like supposed to go in something like this, and then yeah, so if you're trying to do a pose where it's like, you know, jumping around or running, I guess this is the one that you're supposed to use. And that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna just, yeah, I'll just take those off. Okay, now let's get the articulation. So the articulation wise, it's pretty standard for the SHF figure. Have a nice going ab crunch. Actually, that's a really movable ab crunch. So there's two moving points, one on the bottom and on the top, or connecting points, which is why we get a nice ab crunch. On the back, nothing too special going on the back. Although we do have all these nice engravings or moldings. So if you want to do some panel lining, if you can, that'd be nice. As for the body twist, the body does move left and right, but I don't think it's possible to go 360 unless you kind of force it, because currently I believe the belt is being collided with the waist section at this point. And then I'm not saying it's not impossible, but you're gonna need to like move your way through. And then here's the arm. I'm going to show each arm differently. So the arm, I believe they do both go 90 degrees. They have more than 90 degrees, so because they have a double jointed bend. And the hands are your standard SHF style hands. This side of the shoulder doesn't move too much. I mean, you can see it's trying to flap around, but doesn't move that much. But the arm can go about less than 90 degrees. Has a nice 360 twist, and then the arm itself is kind of stiff, but you can go 360 on the arm itself, and it has a nice backward and forward movement. Now for the other shoulder and the other arm has this more stuff going on, which I'm not really sure what this is or what's it meant for, because I don't think they actually mentioned this in the series, so I guess it's based on the lore or something. The basic articulation is pretty much the same, but the shoulder articulation, well, I won't say shoulder articulation, but this tire part, the signal koukan area, this is not attached to the body, it's actually attached to the shoulder, so keep that in mind, and I will show you guys later on how the gimmick works. But so you can move it a little bit up and down if you want to do so, which does affect the signal when you're actually using it. So yeah, and then we have the belt. Yeah, I think we're going with the belt. The belt, very nice sculpt. I think they aced it despite how small it is, and you can see the signal bike, and then the actual symbol of the rider, or of the series. And then you can actually lift it up and reveal the signal bike, which can actually come out. Yeah, but of course it's on a peg, so you're gonna need to like be careful not to break that peg. But yeah, once you have it out, you can actually put in the other signal koukan bike. Yeah, so you don't actually slide it in, you just need to plug it in and then close, and there you go. And the symbol can be also seen through the belt. Very nice as well, and they all got the details, even that small one button on the belt. Alright, and once again, since I did take off the signal bike, we can actually attach the signal bike to the Zenrin shooter to perform its Hisatsu, or at least its power mode, or power up mode. And then let's see, let's look at the legs. The legs, I really do like this nice design of the white, blue, and black. You have a nice side swivel going on there. You can go forward 90 degrees, backwards, not so much because it's getting collided with this area. But it can go 90 degrees to the side, and once again does not have that weird gimmick it has how Kali's has. And has a nice double jointed bend, and it has a nice pivot joint, and can move left and right, because I believe Kamen Rider Abyss was not able to do this. And once again, like most SHF figures, you have a nice toe bend. There we go. That was kind of stiff. Alright, so yeah, we've seen the basics. Now let's look at the equipment, which is on the right hand. So currently we have the Zenrin shooter, and oops, sorry about that. And I would like to mention the Zenrin, which means front wheel, I believe, but does not actually move, so nothing moves. But I guess it wouldn't been too bad if it did move, but that's just me. But once again, they really did a nice job regarding the sculpt, and yeah. So here's how the signal koukan works. Now, depending on how the condition of your figure is, only this part could fall off, or the entire shoulder part can fall off. So there we go. Luckily, mine did not. I mean, even if it did, it wouldn't be a big deal. So you take it off, and then it reveals that this white part and the tire part are separate pieces. Now, I wouldn't say this is like rubber. This is also like plastic. What you do is you get the signal koukan version. You just plug it in. yeah, there's like some like there's like a small peg going on the inside of the tire. Just match it up, and then you have a nice peg there and two holes, and we have two pegs on the shoulder. So all you need to do is re-plug it in, and there you go. You have the Signal Koukan Magaru. Now I would like to mention this is the only one you get from the figure, but there are two more signal bikes that you can use on the SHF figure, and that comes with the motorcycle of Kamen Rider Mach, which I happen to have, which I will be making a review hopefully today, or if not tomorrow. So tomorrow morning to be more precise. So keep that in mind. Hopefully it'll be helpful to you guys. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Now the rider is pretty simple. I'm not gonna say the design is simple, but his gimmicks are pretty simple. I don't have a extra. I don't think I've tested, but I'm not sure if you can put a the shift car into the belt for the SHF figures, but I'm not really too sure about that. But I do have more figures from Kamen Rider Drive that I'm really excited to review regarding that. One thing I should note, as I mentioned, I'm not sure if this part is supposed to be wobbly, and then the neck joint, you can see the bottom, so I'm not a big fan of that aspect. And yeah, this part can fall off. Now, for the Magaru signal, I didn't have much problems of this falling off on its own, but for the standard one, this one kind of fell off a little bit too easily. And that's pretty much it. You don't get actually any effect parts for the figure, because I believe the movie version actually gives you something for that, but yeah. And I think that's pretty much it for the review. So if you're a big fan of Kamen Rider Mach, or if you enjoy the series in general, I definitely recommend this figure, because yeah, it's got everything that you could actually want, or at least it shows everything that we've seen from the first time when Kamen Rider Mach made its entrance. So anyway, thank you for watching the review. This was the review of the Kamen Rider SHF Mach figure. If you guys got any questions or requests, leave a comment below. I still have more stuff to buy and build and make reviews out, so please stay tuned. Until then, see you guys next time.